It is Hump Day, Wednesday. We are getting ready to do this. As usual, this is me driving into work. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for seeing. It was kind of a funny thing that I said, and it's absolutely true, that I don't need to stream for myself. There's no reason, I don't need to collect my thoughts. I don't need to do any of that stuff. It's not, this isn't for me. It is, it has become all about me. There is no other influences or, motivating factors in it other than myself and, me justifying, why I do this every single day. And, what makes a better stream. Every time I watch it, I try to improve myself. But yeah, that's not why I do this. You are the anybody who has seen any of my videos. You are the reason that I do this. You are 100% the reason I do it for you. And my thoughts get muddled and I'm all over the place, and it's not that I don't say things, that's not that I say things that I don't mean, because I definitely mean them, but I say a lot of things out of anger, out of frustration, out of, what the hell. And some people seem to think that it's a reflection on them, even though I'm being critical of them. Even if I'm directly naming them and being very critical of them. I'm not critical of people I don't, love. How do I put this? I don't have bad intentions. I don't have ulterior motives. I don't want to see you fail. There's none of that. I'm not working against you, and it doesn't even matter who you are. I mean, you could like 45. You could be a member of the Republican Party and the Tea Party, and a big, huge conspiracy theorist. As long as you keep it, don't impose those beliefs on other people and basically bully them into, being like you. I don't have any problem with you. I don't have a problem with people who fly the Confederate flag. Storming the Capitol with the Confederate flag and freaking bringing it into, being there, not only just being there illegally, but, planting a symbol of hatred in, America, in basically the world's freedom center, is just absolutely not just disrespectful, but it's tyranny. It's tyranny at its highest level. And that's when I don't know if I can forgive a person for doing that. I definitely can't have a constructive conversation with them unless they have basically, made recompense for their actions. It's they don't realize, they think going to jail is their recompense. It's not. Getting away with it is not recompense. You owe a freaking country an apology for doing that shit. That's how bad it is. But yeah, still, on your own self. It's your own personal belief. Like I said, belief isn't science. Your religious beliefs and things that you have faith in and stuff like that, it's not science. If you bring it into science, if you think that it's going to affect how vaccinations work, or how tried and true methods, and you say you want to bring your faith into that, we can test your faith against with the scientific method, and we can show which one is better, because that's how science works. It's not like your faith, where you can just say, I believe it, therefore it is. But you can have your freaking beliefs. I mean, it doesn't matter what they are. I have faith. I'm a spiritual person in respects of that. I don't necessarily believe that there is a God, or there is a higher power. Even I don't believe in atheists. I don't believe that there is absolutely nothing. I just don't care if there is. People don't realize that that's a big difference. Whether there is or there isn't a God does not affect my life. Does not change who I am. Does not change my belief system. It is not a mitigating factor into why I believe how I believe. Yeah. And if God came down, the higher power came down and said, "This is the truth. You no longer have to have faith, because this is the truth. I am the way. Blah blah blah. I am the light. I am the way." And this, I would not worship them. And if they kill me for that, they kill me for the fact that I don't want to worship them, then they're not as benevolent as you might think. And I would recommend everybody to stop worshiping a deity or a higher power that would do something like that. Why give us free will if you don't allow us to use it? It's one of the big stances that I take. It fell over. One of the big stances that I take where religion's concerned, and people, imposing their beliefs onto others. And as soon as somebody does that, I am right there. I'm right there, and I will test your faith. I fucking hate bullies. And calling people bullies, to me, that's like, I might as well be calling them a fucking cunt racist, because that's how bad that word is to me. When people say, "Oh, we're going to bully this person," I'm just like, because what it means, you're basically forcing your will onto somebody unwillingly. It's not coercion. Bullying is not coercion. Coercion, you can bully and coercion, because if the person doesn't want to, if the person resists you, and you have to then force them to believe the way you want them to believe, it's not coercion anymore, it's bullying. And you gotta, and I know that coercion is very, if I had a fine line, that's the fine line. Because using your charm and your charisma, or whatever the fuck it is that you're using to convince people of a not true, or to force them to go in your direction, I have to really say. But at the same time, if they agree to it, goes. So that it's, being stronger-willed than a person, should not dictate how you should be a leader. But then again, I know that people can rule with fear. People can rule with hatred, and they do. People have over the centuries, and it's quicker, and it's definitely more powerful. And when you're only, living to be 45 years old, which is only a 20th century freaking thing. People living longer than 45. You start really realizing like how little time you have to be benevolent, to be a righteous person. If you're a charismatic, can't freaking say it. You're charismatic? No, freaking, yeah, charismatic. I guess I'm dang it, getting Ted. But yeah, if you have enough charisma, to manipulate people in that respect, doing it benevolently, doing it unselfishly, and for a higher purpose. That's an amazing thing, but it's also the most difficult. It's the most difficult path. I feel it's kind of akin to me too, even though I don't see myself as the leader, a leadering type. I don't want followers, and I don't care for that. But at the same time, I can understand, taking the hard path. That's the path I go on. I go on my own path. I'm discovering it as I go. And, the things that I've given up, the creature comforts and things of that nature, being on top of the world, it didn't suit me. It wasn't my fit. It didn't belong. It's one of my worries. Well, I guess I don't really have that worry with streaming, but when I started streaming, it was one of my worries with it, especially when I saw the people who were succeeding. They're in that, there is a tolerance, and there is an amount of acceptance with fame that people have to have. You have to have it. It's not just to maintain your fame. It's not just to maintain how you are famous, but you have to have it. You don't get up. Your private life goes away. And the saddest thing about with VTubers, because they think that I'm anonymous now, and I can have the dual life. I can have both. I can have the fame and the privacy at the same time, and that only works so far. But you're going to get to the point. These people they're getting there. They're getting to the point where more and more people are going to know who they are. More and more, going to know the real them, because they have to. They have a private life. And once the private life, those people in the private life start realizing that that's them, they're going to follow them. They're going to watch them. They're going to be a part of that. And then it starts with close friends, and then it goes out from there. Then it has your associates. Then it has people you have contact with. And then it has the people they're in contact with, which you don't even know exist. When you have a 1 million people following you, the chances of people being, seeing you, watching you, and being in your sphere of influence, 6 degrees of separation, isn't a lot. And I just went out to the 3rd degree. Maybe, people in the 4th degree. There's still 2 more degrees to go that you'll have contact with, that encompasses everybody. When you have 1 million people in your 2nd degree, actually, you're the 1st degree, your 2nd degree is the people really close to you. So when you have 1 million people in your 3rd degree, them knowing who you are becomes really, because they want to be the 2nd degree for you. And the point I'm trying to make is that I've been there. I've been at that threshold. Been in that threshold where my privacy was gone, where I had no, I couldn't pee without somebody knowing about it. Without somebody taking care of me. My diet, the things I ate, all set, all design, all by design. There was nothing that I ate that wasn't, I didn't do whims or spontaneity. I didn't say, oh, let's have ice cream. It seemed like that. It seemed like I was having that, but no, I didn't. Especially when I got, because I had to stay in shape. Everything was regulated. Whole life regulated. And that's what happens. That's what fame brings. And you have nothing left. And fame takes. Like, everybody talks about the money and the fortune and, that comes along with fame. Fame takes from you. Takes everything you have. Any creative notion, any kernel of creativity. Fame will take that. And as long as it's feeding your ego, you allow it to happen. When it stops feeding your ego, you want it to stop. And it won't. It is definitely a path I don't want to be down. I am currently in no. I'm not even to the position of like even considering that happening again to me. And maybe I set it up that way. Maybe it's because of my personal fears and stuff like that about being famous. That's also holding me back and keeping me from moving forward because I'm doing this my own way and blah 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 instead of like doing some things that will actually promote me properly and do that. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm doing it. Maybe I'm self-sabotaging. I know that I was doing it. I know that I definitely did it last year, and I'm here still working on the same channel of YouTube that I sabotaged. So what does that say? I'm either a freaking genius or I just glutton for punishment. I don't know which it is. Genius insanity. I'm definitely on the insane part of it. I don't know if I'm on the genius part of it. I wouldn't recommend anyone. Yeah, I think I would serve as a really good example of what not to do as far as streaming. But I mean, people should know what they're getting into when they start. I mean, I've had people confess to me their personal anxieties, and they think that streaming allows them to basically get over their own personal anxieties and fears and things like that. And it doesn't. It only heightens it. It only makes it worse. You're in contact with more and more people who want more and more from you. And when you stop giving, or when they stop taking, they go on to something else where they can take it. And the saddest part about it all, and I'm including myself into that, is that you don't realize how much you've been a taker until the closeness and the bonds and the things that you thought you had are tested. Because my expectations were so high when the suspension happened, because I was in the dark and I did not know, and I was hoping that somebody who's been through this could guide me through. And literally I felt like it literally felt like nobody else has been through this before. That's how alone it felt. And people get banned all the time. People get suspended all the time. People have their accounts shut down all the time. There's, when you have a billion people subscribing or streaming from your site, you have a billion people doing it, that the chances of people getting suspended and removed and everything like that is incredibly high. And here it is. Nobody talks about it. I'm the only freaking one. What is going on with that? It's like a silent thing. It's like we take the abuse from our abuser because we can't figure out how to leave them. What is up with that? It was so bad that when I had a video removed and got a warning from YouTube, here it is, I did something wrong. I equated it to what happened to me on Twitch. And the reason I equated it the same way is because the response to my video being removed on YouTube was exactly the same as the response that I got when I was suspended on Twitch. And nobody talks about it. Like I said, nobody. I feel like the only fucking person in the entire freaking world who's gotten suspended and who talks about it. And I don't know why that is. There should be thousands upon thousands of people who've been suspended, had videos removed, who have warnings, who have strikes on YouTube. There are a dozen freaking times. They get reported all the time. They have their income interrupted all the time. Because that's what that stuff does. I wasn't even an associate. I wasn't even wasn't even the first thing. I wasn't even a community, streamer, whatever the freaking first step is. I wasn't even that. Or I think I was just that. Just hit that. Not associate. The beginning thing, the community builder. Whatever the fuck that was. And I'm not gonna check it out, so you don't even have to correct me if somebody knows the real thing. But it's like when I talk about how alone I've been feeling, how alone I still feel, that's the reason why I feel alone. Because it's supposed to be a shared experience. And when I know for a fact that there's people who've been suspended. And I know for a fact that there's people who quit because of their suspensions. Or people who've been removed from the site after being suspended. And I don't know if it was for their own personal reasons, real reasons, bots. It could be a bot, like everybody freaking told me a million times. It could just be bots happening all over the place, and it's something not even to think about because they're not even suspending you for a real reason. And I like when freaking non-streamers freaking come up with the advice and are the ones that coming up with the theory that it's only just a bot, because two friends of theirs got suspended. They don't suggest that I talk to their friends who got suspended about it. That I can have a commonality with somebody. No, instead they give me freaking the worst possible advice that I can still think of, and claim that it's still a bot. And now when I tell them oh, this was not a bot. This was not happened. Somebody reported me. Oh no, that report was reported by a bot. Or a bot handled it. That's the reason why they did what they did. No, it wasn't a bot. It wasn't a bot that handled it. It wasn't a bot. Everything that happened with me was done on purpose. It was done deliberately. I got reported by a human being, and the person who suspended me on Christmas Eve was another human being. And if a bot was doing it, this person took responsibility for what the bot did. And when they finally came to the judgment of overturning my suspension was over. And they decided not to press charges. That's how close it was. They filed charges against me. They did not press charges against me. And I know that there's people like this happens to all the freaking time. All the time. Pissed off follower. All this time. All the time happens. Not bots. And yes, it could be a freaking bot. And if it is, who the fuck cares? It doesn't change. It doesn't change what's going on. But I don't have any, literally, I don't have anyone. There's not a single solitary person that I'm able to share this with, other than, shouting it out to the world on a stream that, on a channel that, a few people actually see. This will probably get 4 views, and then, get relegated into obscurity. And that's the actual fact. The sad part about it is this isn't the first time on this channel that I've said this. It's actually becoming very repetitious. If I really wanted to be honest about it, that I haven't been able to move past it, and it's because of what it is that I'm not able to move past it. It's because of that. But most people won't even. Most people, if one person sees this, they'll probably not watch another video, and they probably won't even get to this far into this video. So, it, you know, like I said, you know, I'm lucky if I get the 4 seconds. So pretty much all anybody's ever going to see is, let's do this. All right, it's Wednesday, hump day. That's all they're going to get before they shut it off. And they're probably a bot. Me calling bots. I worry that most of the people that I have contact with are bots. All right. Well, I'm here. I think I wanted to do a follow-up from yesterday and talk about that a little bit, but I, just got onto this tangent, and we'll get on another tangent tomorrow. All right? I hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you're having a great day and having lots of fun doing it. All right? And as always, cool beans. All right? Take care of yourselves.